So our next speaker is Deo Moano. Can you raise your hand so I know where you are? Awesome. I thought that was you. I wasn't exactly sure. So he is a nationally recognized speaker. He's going to be talking to us today about belonging. He's a program designer and transformational cultural change maker who uses his work to focus on helping organizations maximize their positive impact. Moano is the founder of Deo Moano. I hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you so much for the confirmation. He helps businesses, organizations, and educational organizations build authentic relationships and understanding among all stakeholders. I'd like to welcome him to the stage, and I hope that you all will too. Thank you so much.
Hello, check, 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 check. All right. Hello, everyone. How you doing? All right. I was here last year and I did something peculiar last year, so I have to do more peculiar things. I'm gonna be talking about belonging, and it's gonna be a very interactive session. So you're gonna do stuff, hopefully have discussion on your tables and with all that. So let me see if I can go to next. Green button for next. Sally. Awesome, great. I'm actually based in Manchester, New Hampshire. I'm originally from the DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. I run a consultant firm where my team and I work with organizations all over the country, all over New England, and our intersection is really around helping organizations maximize on their positive impact. So we work with school districts, businesses, nonprofit, and cities, and that's my mighty team that I get to work with, and they're from all over the world as well. One of the things that I've recognized in a lot of my work is building relationships and making connections is so critical. And being an immigrant from the Congo who moved to Manchester, New Hampshire, the coldest place on earth, I had to navigate a lot of different things. So today, in a lot of the work that I do, I spend a lot of time really normalizing the uncomfortableness of bridging the gap and building relationships. And a lot of our solutions actually comes through that process. So my presentation today is going to be really focusing on belonging. It's less about me, more about you, how you interact with each other around that. But before we start, I like to do stuff very tangible, and I like to take concepts and bring it to reality in very tangible way. So I would love to have 2 volunteers. And the way that we're gonna do this, I want, everyone's scratching their head. They're like, I remember this guy from last year. And did he just bring a speaker up here? Yes, I did. So I would love 1 volunteer on the right side. If we can get 1 volunteer on the right side, just come on stage. You're gonna be all right. And then 1 volunteer on the left side. Just come on stage. It'd be awesome. Awesome, let's go, give it up. All right, I need 1 more. Oh, perfect. All right, so my audience, that was a little bit of a low clap for 2 people coming up on stage and we didn't plan it. How you doing? David? Nice to meet you. How you doing? What's your name? Pasha? Okay, awesome. So what David and Pasha don't know is we're gonna get active, okay? So I want you to really pay attention to this. We're gonna try to do this really quick and just pay attention to certain things, okay? So do you want to go first or do you want to go first?
Yes, I'll go.
You're gonna go first? All right. So one of the things that I've been doing for a very long time is I really love music and I love dance. So I brought a little something today. Just pay attention to this. So it's Pasha, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you so much for volunteering. I was on my drive up here, I was thinking about this movement. I was listening to the song. It was really funky. And I was like, when I go to the conference, Pasha's going to come up and I'm going to teach her what I'm conceptualizing and everything's going to be okay. So Pasha, this is what I'm thinking, right? So it's kind of simple and easy. So what we're going to do is, it's really basic. You're going to go to the right here, to the left here. Okay. Can we try that real quick? 5, 6. And what I need you to do, audience, anytime they're doing something, I need you to cheer and clap because this is kind of daunting to have them up there. All right. So 5, 6, 7, 8. To the right here, to the left here. Okay. So we're only going to do it twice. And then you're going to hit 2 times in the front, 2 times back, 2 times back. That's so that's tempo. So back, back, back. All right. All right. So you want to try? All right. So I'm gonna count you in, and we're gonna do it together. And I need the audience to clap, cheer. All right, ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. Step, step, bounce, 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 bounce. All right, super. Awesome. All right. So, David, hopefully iTunes works with us. What is your favorite style of music? What do you like?
I'm a hip hop kid.
Hip hop?
I'm a hip-
All right. So hopefully we find something clean. But
Spanish. I do some Spanish too.
okay.
Wanna go
So
Spanish?
we have iTunes here. So
No, we're not doing that. You pick it.
okay. So
We're following you.
Spanish. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Ooh,
Little Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. All right.
Bad Bunny.
If you hear curse words, just we're adults here, right? All right. So let's go with some Bad Bunny.
Do you have a routine picked out for Bad Bunny?
No, you're gonna help me put it together. Okay. All right. You ready? What about this one? That's kind of a vibe. That's a little slow. Okay. Okay, so 111, it kind of gets fast. Okay. So I want you to help me figure out how we can, you remember, we got a little 8 count happening here that I taught her, but I want you to help me figure out how do we put a little, what are you thinking? Let me play it again real quick. I just want you to give me a little bit of move. Because I'm kind of hearing that. Yeah. Oh, okay. So what if I saw you had your arms up. What if we went like here, hit, here. Yeah. All right, ready? 5, 6, 7, 8, and here. Okay, awesome. I like that. I kind of like that. All right, we need 2 more moves. So if we go here, hit, here, hit. What can we do next?
No, you want to step forward maybe?
Let's do a little step forward. Yeah, maybe a little cumbia. Ooh, okay. Ooh, all right. A little. All right, so we'll go. Punta, punta, pa, pa, punta, pata, pa, pa, punta, pata, pa, punta, pa. Okay, so maybe if we go here and here, so that's almost two tap. Pa, 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 da, pa. All right, maybe just one time, and then maybe we could bring it around. Oh, yeah. Ooh, okay, do it. There we go. Pa, da, pa, 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 da, pa, 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 pa. Boom, ba, 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 wooka, ta, ta, da, ta, ta. So one time there was this Zumba teacher from Colombia that was trying to convince me to do Zumba. And this is before Zumba blew up. And I was like, come on, Marinella. So she had me teaching some Zumba. So that's where my little, okay, so we're gonna try with the music real quick. I forgot we're live. Woo! Okay. Five, 6, 7, 8. Wow. Thank you so much. Can you guys give it up for David and Pasha? That's it. Thank you so much. All right. So that was nice. Find us in the vendor room. We're gonna give you a little something. So, audience, from an inclusion perspective, I invited them over. By the way, I've never met them before. So I'm sure like you all are probably like, oh, wow. Oh, you want to come into, I know you're from Spain. Yeah, no? Okay, cool. All right, so I've never met them before, just to be honest with you. That wasn't rehearsed, that wasn't planned. There's two things that happen here, right? And I would love to hear from you guys. From an inclusion standpoint, I open it up to everybody. I say, hey, anybody wants to come up here? Okay. The room got quiet. You know, some people started scratching their head. No eye contact. Oh, I got something in my eye. My kids are texting me, right? But he volunteered first. So maybe David kind of normalized it. And it's Pasha, right? And Pasha came up. Okay. So in my head, I know already how uncomfortable it is for them to come up here in front of a room of, first of all, we haven't even gotten to know each other yet. We've only been here for an hour, right? 2 presentation, we haven't even like level set yet. So in my head, I already know that this is an uncomfortable experience for them. So they come up here. So I asked for both of their name and I asked Pasha, I'm like, hey, I was driving here and I heard this song. Song was really awesome. And I was thinking about some movement. Here it is. But what happened when I turned to David? I said, hey, what is your favorite song? What type of music do you like? He told me hip hop. I kind of relate with hip hop because I was like, oh, we're about to throw this down. And then he's like, oh, I also like Spanish music. So then I was about to offer my phone to him and I said, hey, can you give me, like, if you want to look for it? He's like, oh, no, you find it. And then I'm like, oh, so in my head, I'm like, oh, I know a bunch of Spanish music that I can search. But then he threw a word. He said, hey, Bad Bunny. I'm like, all right, let's look up Bad Bunny, right? So inclusion, an inclusive experience is me welcoming them, right, to come up stage. From Pasha's standpoint, I already had a predetermined experience that I wanted to have that I didn't really spend more time with her in order to say, hey, what do you like? What kind of dance move? With David, I asked David, what do you like? What type of music do you like? Right? And if I would have stayed there, I would have been able to unpack even more. Hey, why Spanish music, hip hop? How did that come to be? What made you, right? And then the other thing that was wild about it is I said, can you help me come up with the dance move? Not knowing that he dances, that I didn't ask how long were you in Juilliard for, right? I just said, hey, give me a little bit. And then once he gave me a little something, I was like, whoa, right? I encouraged him, oh, I like that, right? So I encouraged him. I said, I like that. We can include that, right? And I'm sure that probably normalized the experience a little bit more for David, that I took what he was giving me, right? And then I asked him again, I said, what's the next one? What do you want me to do next? Okay, so when we think about belonging and inclusion, there's all different levels of what that looks like. And sometimes it might be close to each other. But there are certain things that we can do to help normalize the experience so people also see themselves through the community and the environment that we're creating. And I think to kind of set the tone for you all, a lot of the work that my team and I do, we're in the weeds of so many different organizations. And I wanted to contextualize it to make it more alive and physical as an example. And I think a lot of our organization businesses, we might have business needs or organizational needs that we kind of have no choice but to reach out, especially up in Maine, because you might have a workforce already that's challenged. You don't have people, so you're like, let's reach out to the immigrant community. Let's reach out, right? You almost have no choice because of maybe the capacity that you have. But when they walk into your buildings, are you looking at your prerequisites? Are you looking at what type of environment are we creating in order to ensure that the people that we're welcoming into our company and businesses are going to be successful, for them to see themselves through our organization? And in the metaphor of what we just did with David, I'm sure there were certain elements of the process that made it much easier for him to continue. He could have easily just ran off. You're asking me to give you a dance move in front of this random people? See you later. I don't know why I even came up here. But I said, it's okay. We're going to normalize this, right? And that could be anything. That could be language barrier. That could be cultural differences. That could be so many different things. It could even be like a smile someone gives out, right? But you normalize the process in order to create a space where someone knows that they can see themselves in it. So I wanted to start off with that. And can you give it up one more time for the two people that volunteered? Amazing. I am going to speak again tomorrow, so just remember, no one shows up at 9 o'clock tomorrow. All right, so I wanted to tell this story real quick. So this story, during in the middle of COVID, the last 4 years, different organizations reached out to my team and I to help out. So sometimes it was boards, sometimes it was school districts, sometimes it was businesses. And this one organization called Capital Center of the Arts, it's a performing venue in New Hampshire. They're located in Concord. They have two venues. One is like a traditional kind of a venue theater, and then another one is more of like a concert hall. So they asked me to work with their board. And they were saying, Dale, we're trying to diversify our board. We want to move forward. And so I listened to them. We did some pre-surveying and all of that. And then the day that we had to deliberate, I said, to be honest with you all, I think you need to go and get to know your community. They're like, wow, this is all the money we paid this consultant to tell us this. So I said, to be honest, everything that you're asking me to do or to advise you on, you're going to find it out when you go and interact with your community. So something clicked for them. They said, oh, wow, yeah, that actually makes kind of sense, right? So the first thing they did, they hired a community coordinator. So this person was intentional to go out to the community and develop a relationship. And this community coordinator also ran the multicultural festival. So this person was connected. So this lady that you're seeing here, her name is Batula. Prior to that, she made food at the multicultural events and different things that were happening in the community. But that community coordinator that they hired said, how are we going to cultivate relationship in our community? And she thought, what if we created an opportunity at our venue where Batula became our culinary artist in residence? Okay, this is not just a one-time thing, right? And again, this is Northern New England. So a lot of the shows over there, it's not really that diverse to a certain extent. Okay, I'm not trying to talk badly about the Capital Center of the Art, but just think about it, right? A Somalian lady making food at every event, right? So they reached out to Batula. Batula thought, this is incredible. You want me to, you're going to give me your kitchen? So one of the other things, they had industrial kitchen. The only time they really used it when they had big events. Outside of that, nobody really used it. So now this lady has access to this industrial kitchen where she can cook. And this pilot became so successful that she continued on for about 1.5 years. And the thing that's interesting about this experience, I met Batula a really long time ago. But when we were doing the consultant work, I never reached out to Batula to say, hey, Batula, I've been working with the Capital Center of the Art. They're going to try to do this. I just let the Capital Center of the Art do the uncomfortableness of developing relationship. The program was so successful that it ended up getting featured on a TV show in New Hampshire called Chronicle. So I'm going to show you just a little bit. So you get, oh, no, we can't play this. Oh, no. All right, we'll move on. But anyways, the program was so successful that I know the food is a little pixelated. Some of you are a little hungry, but so the program was so successful that she got featured. And I'll tell you a little update later, and hopefully we can get involved with the next stage of what's happening in our work. So I told you that today in my session, it was going to be interactive. So I know some of you got some papers. Hopefully you have papers and pen. We're going to spend a little bit of time to talk about this. Inclusion and belonging. So what I want you to do is, we're going to do this just real quick, maybe 4 to 5 minutes. I want you to be able to talk to each other in your table. And you can think about it in whichever form that you want. How do you define inclusion? And how do you define belonging? Okay? This is going to be in your table. So if you don't have anybody in your table, find a table, say hi to somebody. Hopefully you all invite that person on your table, because this is an inclusion conference. So hopefully you don't kick someone out. So as you do that, I want you to think about certain things. Okay? I want you to consider certain things as you're defining inclusion and belonging. I want you to consider how inclusion and belonging relate to social construct, culture, and community. I want you to think about how do you examine power dynamic and privilege within that construct. And I also want you to think about how do you reflect on the importance of creating an inclusive environment. So I'm going to keep this on the screen as you all are talking with one another. Again, I'll give you like 3 to 4 minutes. I don't want to run out of my time. I probably did already. Sally's looking at me, but we got it. We got this. All right, 4 minutes, go. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I do. Yeah.
Okay, so let's make sure we get that one. So
To just pull the link out, right?
Yeah, so maybe after we around for a bit
Yeah.
tonight.
Mhm.
Okay, so once he gets the chorus going, then he's gonna have some free time to maybe get that set up.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'll pull the link out and we'll put it in there.
Yeah.
And then I need a handheld.
Oh, do you want me right now?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Okay. Super. Yeah, that'd be great. That was. All right, so this is like speed dating. I'm sorry. Okay. I always feel like I'm the bad guy when I'm presenting and I have to cut people off. You know, when I have to stop, we're going to bring it back. Again, this is just the start of this conference. You're going to have a lot of time to talk to one another. But I'm curious, how anyone on this side, how did you, conversations around inclusion on this side? What are some of the stuff that came up? Yeah, I can walk through the audience. Let's do this.
Hi, everybody.
Oh. Can you turn it on? Check. Maybe I'll just repeat it.
I can speak loud. I'm Michelle. Hi, everybody. Inclusion, you said, making space for everyone, inviting, being accepted, and feel that feeling of come and join us, versus belonging is involving everyone in the making of that space, more interactive, more about how you feel, more emotional feeling of feeling accepted, And it's more of the, would you tell us what you think we should do?
Would you tell us what you think we should do? All right, someone else in this side. I'm going to continue to walk around. What are some of the stuff? Another thing that came up on the table. If someone already said something, please don't repeat what they said. You can just say ditto. But if it's something different, anyone else regarding the conversation table? Oh, you volunteer someone else.
Very good. I like to see it like that.
I think you should be good.
I'll give the library analogy. Hello? Okay. So we were talking about the example of a public library, right? As something that is inclusive in some sense, that anybody can go there, right? Anybody's allowed to go there. It's a public space. But belonging really comes when everyone has access to that space. And so access is really important when it comes to belonging. Are folks able to get to the library? Are they able to access material, read directions in the library, and utilize that space as anybody else would?
Super. Thank you. I'm coming to this table, then I'm going to continue to walk that way. So did someone? Okay.
This is a little bit of bullying.
We don't want that to happen here.
We were talking about the difference between inclusion and belonging. And to me, the biggest difference is that belonging is more native. It's more about, for me, it's like in this space, I don't have to think about the things I think about when I don't belong. Am I safe? Are my needs met? Can I read the sign, like somebody said over there? So you don't have to think about those things because you're a part of it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes, I'm coming over there. Super.
Okay, when I think about belonging, I also think you can't have a conversation about belonging without also talking about power. Because when I think about belonging, I think about permission as well. Yeah, and I'll keep it that simple.
I'm not gonna, my voice is loud. I think one of the things about belonging is bringing your authentic self. Because a lot of times without that belonging, we tend to fake who we are when we walk. But when you feel belong, you bring your authentic self to work. It doesn't matter you have a tattoo. When you are having a meeting, it doesn't matter what clothes you wear to go to your work.
Thank you. So I'm hearing power, bringing your authentic self, right? And I think power, a lot of times people don't really think about power, the power dynamic. And so we work with fairly large organization, and sometimes the executives that we work with are like, I don't know why nobody's coming to me to say this. I'm like, well, that's actually a problem. If nobody's coming to you to tell you how they feel about certain things, that's actually where the starting point is, because there's a power dynamic here. You are a boss. You are calling the shots. And if people don't feel safe to come and express how they feel about certain things, they might never come to you. So that power dynamic is so critical. And a lot of times those who have power, they tend to rely more on their intentions than they do what is my action indicating in terms of how I believe and want to experience this. And for some people that have power, they're also, it's almost that they don't really want to walk through the uncomfortableness of creating a space that exudes inclusion, but also allows people to experience that belonging, because the experience will change. If you're really about it, like the experience will look different than maybe what the custom is for that particular organization. So power dynamic is so important. All right, I don't want to leave this room. I want to make sure that I'm giving this side of the room some love too. Anything from this side? I see some head nodding. That's a good thing. All right, so let's move on. So we talk about feeling accepted, valued, included in a group, acceptance, evaluation, inclusion, authentic expression. I heard authenticity over there, right? But sometimes when we walk into a space, if we're underrepresented, it's almost sometimes we have to like try to understand what the lay of the land is first before we can truly be our own true self. Because sometimes there's already like rules and laws that are given in terms of how we're supposed to act and behave. Even if the organization doesn't say it, we automatically feel like, but there's signs, different things that we need to see and feel before we're like, oh yeah, maybe I can roll my sleeves up and I'm fine to show my tattoo. Or even the type of food we might bring during lunch break, right? Like, are people gonna think I'm wild if I bring out my fufu in Pondu? So for those who don't know what fufu is like a hard mashed potato that they make it with corn or sometimes with cassava powder. You're gonna get in there a little bit. And then Pondu is cassava leaves. And anyways, we'll talk about it later if you don't know. Find me in our exhibit hall. So let's talk about strategies real quick, right? Again, this is lightning here. What are some strategies when you think of it? This is a workforce. This is a workforce space. 4 years ago, employers were crying about trying to bring in new employees, right? But now we're in a different end. Some industries are struggling. They're actually letting people go, right? And we saw the attack on DEI within the last year and a half. How do we go from 4 years ago where people was like, inclusion, diversity, yes, let's hire chief diversity officers that were left in a room just evaluating stuff and their suggestion never went anywhere. That's a different conversation. Come on, Dale, focus. But then today, the economy, the impact of our economy, right? It's like, yeah, that inclusion and diversity thing is okay. We've even seen people go the other way around. But a sense of belonging is so critical. First, people need to know that the experience is theirs, that they can participate. And once they're in the environment, they need to feel that they can be themselves, right? And you all have your own definition. And I don't think there's a universal definition for any of these words. But what matters the most is how people feel. How people feel and how people show up. So let's talk about some strategies. So I want to skip that. I don't want to get to that yet. So I want to come back to Batula's story real quick. So Batula was involved with this program at the center, at the Performing Arts Center. Her story was featured, and then it was coming towards the end. The community came together and helped Batula get a food truck. So what you're seeing right there is a food truck mobile that they can travel all over different places to bring the food. Today, Batula is looking to retrofit this trailer. And I want to tell you all, this presentation that I'm making today, Batula had no idea that I'm going to bring her up in Maine. All right. And Batula actually has no idea that the Capitol Center of the Art created that space after the consultant work that my team and I did. So today, I would ask, if you feel compelled by hearing this story, how can we bless Batula? That QR code is going to their GoFund page in order to help them paint and decorate their amazing food truck. Okay? And this is a Somalian family. It's a fairly large family. I think there's 10 kids who's been invested in the Concord area in Manchester. And the community came alongside her, not just for her to feel included, but to feel a sense of belonging, where a predominant performing arts center has allowed her to serve food at every single one of their events. And the funds that she's received, it's helped her family survive. And now they're transitioning into this amazing trailer that they have that they're going to be doing food everywhere. So again, if you're interested to support them, there's a GoFund. You just QR code, you put your phone up, you get the QR code. Again, she doesn't know that I was going to bring this up. She doesn't even know that my team and I have been doing work behind the scene for this. All right, so let's talk about strategy. Embracing diversity and perspective background. So what steps can your organization take to foster an inclusive environment? That's the first question. The second question is, what action can your organization take to promote a sense of belonging? That's my last question for you all. So we'll give you about 4 minutes as a group to talk about it. 4 minutes as a group. So the first one is, what action can your organization take to foster an inclusive environment? The second one is, what action can your organization take today to promote a sense of belonging for those who make up your organization? 4 minutes, and then I will conclude. One time. It's okay.
We are, oh, right at 5. How much more do you have?
Probably just 5 minutes after they're done.
Okay. About 5. Great, though.
Yeah, we want to give them a chance to debrief as a group and then just encapsulate it, and then we're good. Good. I'm gonna go grab I'm gonna grab a little water. Yeah, we have like 5 minutes and we're done. That bad money's on that guy, bro. You have to do that. You're like, ooh. That's what I'm saying. All right, I just saw Hamza walk in, so I gotta respect time. Okay, so again, I just said first day of the conference, lightning round. What are some of the stuff that came up? I'm curious. Let's talk. Let's start with inclusion, or you can say both. What are some of the things that came up with your table? I'm gonna pass the mic quick. Yes.
Having co-owner resource groups or resource groups for various groups of your employees to have a known sense of community. I work for Revision Energy. We have a large amount of co-owner resource groups. We have a queer group, a veterans group, of folks who are towards the end of their professional career. And it's really an opportunity for our organization to support these co-owners and also give them an opportunity to have a community in our large organization.
Super. Thank you. Yes, I'm coming.
dance, do I?
No, not right now.
Good afternoon. I'm David from Maine Savings Credit Union. And what we're doing at the credit union is we have formed a DEI and B committee. That was step one for us. Step 2 and 3 and 4, et cetera. We're very methodical in our approach. We recognize everyone has their own sort of pace as they embark on this journey. We're doing a lot of communication. And right now we're in the middle of a major education program on the topic. That'll involve all employees. Subsequent to that, sort of coming up in the fall, will be random courses that are not necessarily mandated, but just available to anyone who wants to take them.
Thank you. Last one? Yes. I am coming.
I don't even need a microphone.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm already halfway, so you know.
That'd be awkward, right?
Okay, so we said, so beyond the committee, you know, it's like you have the committee, now what, which is the position where we felt like we were in. An open dialogue with questions versus statements, comfortable feedback. So setting a tone so that you're flattening the hierarchy and people are comfortable bringing that feedback to you. Following through on the feedback. So often there's that culture where you can bring up these ideas, but what are you doing with them and how did you grow from them and what did you end up learning or sharing with others from that feedback that you took on? Making sure that you stop and listen. So if someone's bringing feedback to you, you're pausing what you're doing, you're engaging, it's a two-way conversation, and it's not something you're doing while you're doing something else. Giving the validation that everybody needs to know that they're heard as well. So that goes back to that two-way conversation. We said that feeling heard and listened to really has everything to do with that sense of belonging.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to bring this to an end here. So I think the belonging piece is so critical because it's not really, it's everyone has their own interpretation and the feelings of what that means for them. And as an organization, the only way you're going to know if people feel a sense of belonging or not, it's from the receiving end. It's not from the giving end. Because you do need that validation process in order to ensure that those who are on the receiving end are actually experiencing it. And if there's gaps, it's not an opportunity for you to defend or justify what's occurring, that people are saying that they don't feel a sense of belonging, then it is an opportunity for you to learn and figure out what type of environment do we need to create, what type of investment do we need to put in order to ensure that whatever representation that we have within our organization, people feel a sense of that. So again, this was just an introduction for the conference. For our ending, can I get everyone in our feet, please? So I told you that David really inspired me with this movement. So how cool would it be for us to do the movement that Dave created for us? Okay? You better add that in your LinkedIn profile after, right? I created a dance move that 600 people learned. So he went. So I know some of us, our hips might not move like Foley, but so he went right here. So we went 1 and 2, 3 and 4. That's pretty easy. All right. But you got to get the Spanish kind of sauce going. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And this is where it gets tricky. You're going to come up. All right. Come up here, come back. And then you're just going to go in a circle. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Pretty easy, right? Oh, I got you. All right. One more time. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and go and go and go. All right, super. Okay. I can't leave here without the music. We can't do this without the music. Oh! I know half of the time when you put the music, that's when everybody's like, oh, I don't know where my right foot is. Where's my left foot? Where's my toe? Ready? 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1. Hey. That was fast. One more time. One more time. One more time. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Thank you so much.
Woo! Keep it going.